Good morning, scholars. Hope you are having a great day. Let's get this started. We've got 3 more instructional weeks before you guys are off for break. So let's start off strong and let's keep it going strong, okay? So you have to excuse me. I forgot my document camera at home. So we are doing this a little bit differently today, but you still will be able to see the video, okay? So we are starting off with example number 1. And it's looking at the square root of 3. So remember, when we're looking for non-perfect squares, we try to find what it's closest to, what perfect squares it's closest to. And in this case, we are closer to the square root of 1 and the square root of 2. Okay? Those are the 2 perfect squares that the square root of 3 is closest to because it's between those 2 numbers. So the square root of 1 equals 1. And the square root of 4, not 2, I'm sorry, scholars. Square root of 4 is 2. So I would write this. 1 is less than the square root of 3, which is less than the square root, which is less than 2. Scholars, I am still waking up. I'm so sorry. We are 2 hours ahead of you guys. So 1 is less than the square root of 3, which is less than 2. Okay? So if I were to do my number line, I'd do a number line here, and I'd put 1 here. I'd go ahead and do 1 and 5/10 here, and then I'd do 2. Okay? So I'm looking to see which numbers between 1 and 2 are closest to 3. So remember, I don't want to do every single number between 1 and 2. I just want to look at the ones that I think are going to be closer. So let's look at 1 and 3/10 first. So 1 and 3/10 squared equals 1 and 69/100. Okay? So looking at 1 and 69/100, that's not incredibly close to 3. So I'm actually going to jump over to 1 and 7/10, which is going to be right here. So I'll do 1 and 7/10 squared, and that's going to equal 2 and 89/100. So 1 and 79/10 equals squared equals 2 and 89/100. So that's getting pretty close. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to square 1 and 8/10. So if I do 1 and 8/10 squared, I'm going to do it on my calculator over here really quick. So I'll do 1/8 squared, and that equals 3 and 24/100. So 1 and 8/10 squared is 3 and 24/100. So now I know that the square root of 3 is between 1 and 7/10 and 1 and 8/10. Okay? So then now I can write my new equation, and I can write 1 and 7/10 is less than the square root of 3, which is less than 1 and 8/10. Okay? Now, I'm going to break it down a little bit more. So I've broken it down into the tens place. Now I'm going to break it down into the hundredths. So I'm going to make my line again, my number line. And this is going to be 1 and 70/100. This is going to be 1 and 80/100. Right here, right in the middle, is 1 and 75/100. Okay? And then right about here is 1 and 73/100. So I already know that 1 and 70/100 is 2 and 89/100. Okay? So let's look at 1 and 73/100. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 1 and 73/100 squared. And that's pretty close to 3. That's 2 and 99/100. And we're just looking up to the hundredth place. So we're going to do 2 and 99/100. So that's a number that's going to be less than 3. Let's look and see what 1 and 74/100 squared is. So I will do 1 and 74/100 and square it, and it's 3 and 200. If I were to round this off, it would be 3 and 300, or 300ths, because the 7 makes the 2 bigger. So I will go ahead and do it as 3 and 300ths. So that's pretty close. We're getting it pretty close. So I can say that 1 and 73/100 is less than the square root of 3, which is less than 1 and 74/100. I can break it down to the thousandths, but for this problem, it's just asking me to go to the hundredth. So I would write this as the square root of 3 is about equal to 1 and 73/100. I did 1 and 73/100 because it's less. And 1 and 74/100 is more than, so we can't do that one. But it's pretty close to 1 and 73/100. So, if you guys need help, come back to this video and look at it again. Otherwise, you should be good. I will see you guys tomorrow. You can ask your sub to help you out. And if not, you can just wait for me tomorrow. I think what I'll do is we'll do the test on Wednesday and we'll do some review tomorrow. So have a great day. Be your best selves, and I will see you tomorrow.